Alright, welcome back to another Ghost Simulator video. Today we're going over the most recent update, like, the thing probably tells you. And as most of you guys probably have known by this time, if you guys looked at the thumbnail or paid any attention to Ghost Simulator, new update is pretty much entirely focused on the Easter event. With that being said, we'll hop over to the Easter event and show you guys what's new. Other than the Easter event, not much was added other than the limited store. But even that really doesn't count since that comes with every update. Same three sort of biomes that came in the 2022, so nothing really new there. The only real big difference that was added to this part of the map is that ghost spawns were slightly, or actually about doubled, and a little rotating spawn for a big strawberry cat ghost was added. Other than that, exact same format as the previous years in this event world. So not too much to say about that. In addition to that, all the other stuff, bells and whistles that you'd expect for an event came. We have new boards to buy in the shop. We have more pet crate, or one pet crate, with some new pets. There's an event pass and some chests over here for keys. The big difference though this year is actually how you go ahead and get keys. Normally, you either have a Mega Boss, or last year, or in Easter, we've had invasions where ghosts attack ward stones. But this year, it's actually something a little bit different. Well, it is a little bit different if you go ahead and select hard mode. When you go ahead and walk into the circle, you have the option to go ahead and choose either easy or hard mode, which acts as sort of a vote for what you want the next rotation to be. Based on what everyone else votes, it could be what you vote, or it could not be. Default is going to default to hard if there's a tie. Other than that, not too much going on that's hard to understand here. But once you go ahead and start into an invasion, let's skip ahead to that really quick and can talk. But once we get into it, you'll notice that it has a very similar map and setup to how it was in 2023, with the same ward stones, same overall layout for ghost spawns, all that stuff similar to last year. You will, however, notice that there is a little bit of a change in the actual map. In the center, instead of it just being a giant set of walls, there is now what looks like an arena. That won't actually no, it looks like we are in hard, so we'll actually be able to see that. But yeah, we'll be able to see that once we get up there. Anyways, it starts out very similar to how it did in 2023 with ghosts spawning and attacking the ward stones. In addition to that, every few ghosts will go ahead and actually attack the player instead too, which will make it a little bit more interesting, since sometimes you'll be just getting hit by some of these attacks, and other times you just need to focus on vacuuming up ghosts. But anyways, once you go ahead and clean up ghosts, you'll move on to the next wave. Wave 4, Wave 2 will start. And then once we complete Wave 2, we'll start getting into some of the more interesting stuff. They will go ahead and start doing damage. There are these big ghosts that will go ahead and do that. And then you have this additional wave reward. So once you defeat Wave 2, you'll go ahead and get a single key. Or if you have the event pass like I do, you'll go ahead and get 2 keys. And then if you are playing hard, you'll go ahead and on Wave 3 start getting into the difficult stuff, where Fluffy will go ahead and spawn and start attacking you. And additionally, ghosts will continue to attack you. The strategy for this is generally to ignore Fluffy in favor of just going ahead and vacuuming the ghosts, because Fluffy won't really do anything, whereas these ghosts can go ahead and kill your ward stones. So focus on that instead of kind of ignore Fluffy. But Fluffy will be going ahead and trying to roll at you and do other attacks that might end up disrupting you, as you guys can see over there. Which does add a little bit more element of surprise and interesting stuff going on during this event. Anyways, the main focus will be keeping these ward stones alive, as the ghost spawns are kind of the main reason behind you. Stuff doesn't really do enough damage to go ahead and kill you outright. But yeah, anyways, once you finish up all the ghosts, you have 0 ghosts remaining, that's when it's time to go ahead and start actually targeting Fluffy. And then once you go ahead and bring him down to 67% health, or the normal whatever health he falls down to, you'll go ahead and spawn the next wave. At the end of all this, you'll go ahead and get another wave reward, which will consist of 2 keys or 4 keys with event pass, and Fluffy will also be going ahead and dropping some keys for anyone who needs those rewards. Overall, it's a I think it's a very interesting event, and from what I've seen about others, they find it interesting too. Whether or not you guys like it, that is something that you guys can go ahead and let me know in the comments of this video, or, you know, anywhere else really. I think it's at least interesting. I don't know if it'll be fun, because sometimes it does get kind of annoying with Fluffy's attacks while you're defending, and other times it is kind of hard to solo, so some people might not like that. If you guys are having trouble doing this event, I found that it's actually pretty easy to just go into public servers and play it with random people. It's a pretty easy event to understand, so a lot of new players are actually able to pick up pretty well. A lot of people do know how to go ahead and use vacuum gum to go ahead and defend pretty well. And it is actually quite forgiving in terms of damage over time and stuff like that. Because even if you go ahead and lose one ward stone like we are going to right now, you should still easily be able to go ahead and clean up the rest of them, or keep the other few alive. And as you guys can probably tell from the fact that we are still alive here on this ward stone, it's actually kind of difficult to go ahead and lose a ward stone. I mean, we are down to 6%, but we are playing on hard and are doing a video. That being said, it might take a little bit of time to go ahead and find Fluffy. Looks like he has managed to go over here, since he does kind of roll around doing the different waves. Overall, I thought it would be a very interesting, and I definitely like how it turned out. Fluffy's attacks sometimes are a little bit jank, since it is programmed to be as it was when he was first added, so they aren't really optimized for like targeting the player, for instance. But other than that, I think it is like the perfect level of both difficult and also interesting to go ahead and play. Anyways, now that we've gone ahead and defeated it, you'll notice that really not that difficult. Even with randoms, we managed to go ahead and basically survive with about half our ward stone's health left, and about only around 30% corruption. So overall, it shouldn't be too difficult, even if you guys are playing on hard, as long as you're playing with multiple people. And using vacuum gum, I do feel like vacuum gum does always make these events a lot easier. And now that we have that out of the way and explained what it is, I should probably go over the differences between easy and hard mode. Really, they end up playing quite a bit similar, as I mentioned earlier. On easy, you're going to have less ghost spawning, and you're going to have more time between ghost spawning. So instead of spawning in those giant groups that you're seeing in hard mode, they'll spawn in slightly smaller groups and less frequently. On top of that, on easy mode, you'll not have to face Fluffy at the same time as the invasions. You actually won't have to face Fluffy at all. And other than that, the rewards for the events, both events will give you the same wave rewards. So you'll get 1 key at wave 2 of both, and then 2 keys at the end of wave 5. They're both 5 waves long, so you don't need to worry about that. But on top of that, hard mode will give you an additional key drop from Fluffy, which can also be multiplied by boss gum, boss drops, and additional +1 from the event pass, like all the other drops, which can make doing the bosses much more rewarding for hard mode. On top of that, hard mode will also give you more ghost spawns, which means you'll get more eggs. And because the ghosts spawn faster, you should be able to technically go through waves faster, although Fluffy will add some more time. Overall, it should be pretty close in terms of key grinding if you're doing it without any boss gum, but if you are planning on grinding with boss gum, obviously the only way to go ahead and use the boss gum will be on the hard event, because on easy, there aren't none of the key drops from waves or the round win will actually get multiplied by boss gum. So keep that in mind if you're planning on grinding any of that. In addition to that, if you are planning on grinding eggs, this actually strawberry cat ghost that spawns every minute so on these areas can go ahead and drop quite a bit of eggs. I think you do have to contribute like quite a bit in terms of health to actually get those rewards. You can't just cheese it with like 2 or 3%. But along with that, there are a lot of ghosts where you can just go ahead and use like loot gun and grind the ghosts in here. But yeah, invasions should also give a decent amount of egg drops too. All that said, this Easter Pass is the same as pretty much every other year, coming with a board, a pet, and plus 100% drops. It does actually have some more eggs and more. It actually has some keys this year instead of previous years where it wouldn't have any keys and would have like 1,000 eggs, which wasn't really super useful. Overall, though, not too much different than last year. Same thing with the keys. There's one thing to note where the minimum key purchase is now 30 keys instead of 25 keys, just so that people, if they want to, can go ahead and purchase it to get the minimum key chest, or the second key chest. But other than that, pretty similar structure. The actual chances for stuff was actually slightly buffed for some of the higher rarities. For instance, common or rare pets and rare boards used to both be 5% in this common to rare chest. They got bumped up slightly. And then same thing over here with the godlies. They used to be 8 and 12%, and they just got slight buffs there. Overall, nothing super big in terms of actual game balancing. But yeah. In addition, there is this quest Lily. I'm kind of skipped over her, but she is the main quest in this event so far, and will give you some eggs, some keys, and a cool pet that some people might find useful, and other people might end up just adding to their collection and forgetting about. In addition, there is actually a new type of gum in the gum machine. I would go ahead and convert for it, but I have a thing against converting too much stuff. I guess we can go ahead and do something like 500 Easter eggs from 2022. Yeah, we did get one. Phew. But yeah, it is a new gum type. It does exactly what you'd expect it to do. Turns you into a true bunny for 2 minutes. I'm not going to use it now. You guys can go figure out exactly what it does. But yeah, that is it for this Easter event. If there's anything I'm missing, or if you guys have comments, go ahead and let me know in the comments of this video, or, you know, ping me on Discord or something like that. I don't, you know, you guys know how to contact me. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know I really like the concept and how this event has turned out, and from what I've seen about players, players do kind of enjoy the event. It's a little bit more casual, I think, than some of the other events are. Even with the hard mode, it ended up getting nerfed quite a bit, so it used to be really difficult in testing. Now it's actually kind of tame, as long as you have vacuum gum. If you aren't running vacuum gum, you're going to be in a world of pain for this event. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this update. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'll probably on Monday, instead of doing a hard mode stream, go ahead and do an invasion grind stream.